Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danny, and today I want to share with you a really personal and hard to talk about topic. If you're new here, consider this my first video, and I appreciate your willingness to listen. I've known Tobias for about 10 years now. We met in college, and over time, he became like a brother to me. We've been through so much together, and I thought I knew him inside out. But what I'm about to share with you is going to blow your mind, and trust me, it's not easy for me to talk about. It all started a few weeks ago when Tobias told me that he was getting married to Fiona. Now, at first, I wasn't surprised. They'd been together for years, and everyone knew how much they cared for each other. But what caught my attention was the way Tobias reacted when I asked him if I could be a part of their wedding. He got really defensive, telling me that he didn't need anyone else there except Fiona, and that I was being too clingy. I brushed it off as Tobias just having a bad day, but deep down, I knew something was off. We've always been super close, and if he felt like I wasn't needed at their wedding, that meant something had changed between us. Still, I didn't want to believe that anything was wrong. We've been friends for so long. The more I thought about it, the more I started to notice little things. Tobias would often disappear for hours without telling me where he was going or who he was with. He'd cancel plans at the last minute without explanation. And when I asked him if everything was okay, he'd just brush it off and say that I was being too paranoid. I've always been someone who trusts people easily, so it hurt to even consider that maybe my best friend of 10 years wasn't being honest with me. But at the same time, I couldn't shake this feeling that something was wrong. And then, just a few days ago, I got a text from Tobias saying that he needed to talk to me in person. I'm still trying to process everything right now, and it's hard for me to even write about it without getting emotional. What I do know is that our friendship has always been built on trust, or at least, I thought so. Now, I'm not sure if that was just a facade to hide something deeper. I've tried calling Tobias back, but he hasn't replied yet. And to be honest, I don't even know where to start right now. Part of me wants to confront him and get all the answers, but another part of me is scared. What if this is more than just a phase? What if our friendship was never as strong as I thought it was? I'm not even joking when I say that my world has been turned upside down in the past few weeks. Everything I thought I knew about Tobias and our friendship is now up for question, and I don't know where to turn or what to do next. That's where I'll leave you guys for today, with a bunch of unanswered questions and a whole lot of uncertainty. Stay tuned for part 2, but be warned, this conversation is far from over. I've been replaying our last conversation in my head non-stop, trying to decipher any hidden clues or hints that Tobias might have dropped. We had met up at the coffee shop, and he seemed his usual self, laughing and joking like nothing was wrong. But as we parted ways, I noticed a faint look of unease on his face, which I brushed off as mere anxiety. Now, however, I'm starting to wonder if that was just an act. What if he's been leading a double life all this time? The more I think about it, the more questions pile up in my mind. Is Fiona involved? Does she know what Tobias is really up to? And what about his job? He's always been vague about his career, but now I'm starting to suspect that he might be hiding something from me. I've tried reaching out to Fiona, but she's been dodgy too. We used to be inseparable, and now it feels like we're speaking different languages. She keeps saying that she needs space, but I know that's just a euphemism for, I don't want to talk about Tobias. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. How could he do this to me? We've been friends for 10 years, and now it feels like everything was a lie. I've started digging around online, trying to find any clues that might explain what's going on with Tobias. But the more I dig, the more I realize how little I actually know. There are whispers of a secret project he's working on, something that could potentially put him in danger. But who is behind it? And what does it have to do with Fiona? The more I learn, the more I'm convinced that I need to confront Tobias once and for all. But a part of me is terrified of what I might find out. What if he's not just hiding something from me, but also from himself? What if our friendship was never as real as I thought it was? I've got my phone in hand, ready to send him another text message. Part of me wants to make contact and demand answers, while another part of me is screaming at me to leave him alone. Who am I supposed to trust now? Not Fiona, that's for sure. And not myself, because I'm clearly blind to what was right in front of me. As I sit here, my heart racing with anticipation and fear, I realize that the only way to find out what's really going on is to face Tobias head-on. But do I have the courage to do it? Or will I let my fears hold me back? And then, just as I'm about to send that text message, my phone rings. It's an unknown number, but somehow, I know who it is. Danny, a low voice says. I need to talk to you. I hesitate for a moment before answering the call, my heart skipping a beat as I wonder what kind of revelation could be waiting on the other end. The voice on the phone is familiar, yet completely unfamiliar at the same time. It's Fiona's. Or at least, I think it is. Hey, I say cautiously, trying to keep my tone light despite the turmoil brewing inside me. What's up? There's a pause before she responds, her words dripping with an air of caution that makes me feel like I'm intruding on some private secret. I need to see you in person, she says finally. My mind starts racing. What could Fiona possibly want from me? Has she discovered Tobias's secret too? Is she somehow involved in his deception? Okay, but we have to talk about something serious, Fiona continues, her voice taking on a more somber tone. I think you should know the truth. My gut tells me that this conversation is going to be a lot harder than I'm ready for, but at the same time, I feel an overwhelming urge to hear whatever it is she's going to say. What are we talking about? I ask again, trying to stall for time while my brain tries to process the sheer weight of what Fiona might reveal. But before she can respond, a third voice chimes in, Tobias's. Fiona, stop, he says curtly, his tone unmistakable as it sends a shiver down my spine. You're not supposed to tell her. My eyes widen in shock as I realize the full extent of Fiona's knowledge, and how much she must be hiding from me. What do you mean? I demand, trying to keep my voice steady despite the fear rising up inside me. There's a pause before Tobias responds, his words dripping with menace. Just trust me when I say that this conversation never happened, he says coolly. And Danny, please, just leave it alone. I feel like I've been punched in the gut, my heart racing, my mind reeling as I try to process what's happening. What's Tobias trying to hide from me? And what does Fiona know that she's not telling me? As I stand there, frozen in uncertainty, Fiona speaks up again. Danny, please, just come over, she says, her voice low and urgent. And with that, the call goes dead. I take a step forward, my eyes fixed on Tobias as if he's going to turn into a monster at any moment. But instead, I see only a mixture of fear and desperation in his eyes. He knows I won't back down. Tell me what's going on, I demand again, my voice shaking with anger and hurt. Fiona knows something you do, what is it? Tobias takes a deep breath before speaking, his words spilling out in a rush. It's about the business trip Fiona went on last year, he says. She was supposed to meet some investors, but she ended up changing her story. I feel like I've been punched in the gut again, my mind reeling with questions. What kind of investors? Why did Fiona change her story? As Tobias continues to talk, I listen intently, trying to piece together what's happening. Fiona was working for a shell company, he says finally. A front for some shady dealings. And she became involuted. My eyes widen as the truth begins to sink in. Fiona, my best friend of 10 years, has been living a double life. Why didn't you tell me? I ask, feeling like I've lost everything. Tobias shrugs. I was scared, he admits. Fiona's complications are complicated. And I wasn't sure how to get involved without putting myself in danger. The room falls silent as the weight of what Tobias has just told me sinks in. I feel like I'm living a lie, like everything we've shared is a fabrication. And then, it hits me, Fiona's phone number on her phone, the way she always seemed so guarded around me. It all makes sense now. I turn to leave, but Tobias grabs my arm, his grip tight. Danny, please, he says again. You have to understand. But I'm already gone, walking away from the conversation that changed everything. As I look back at Tobias and Fiona, I see two people I don't know anymore. I stand outside for a moment, trying to process what's happened. The world feels like it's spinning out of control, like nothing will ever be the same again. And honestly, I still think about it, what does this mean for our friendship? Can I ever trust Fiona again?